The holiday season is upon us. Let the stress begin. Well, for some of you, this could be the most stressful time of year. But for others, this could be the most happiest, most joyous time of year. In particular, for people in recovery, I know we are sometimes the most grateful, the most joyous people on this planet. And there's a good explanation as to why. And if you can get to that point to where you find gratitude and thankfulness in just about everything, that's a good place to be. Now, this episode is pretty much off the cuff. I had some stuff lined up to go out tomorrow and the next week and the next week, but for whatever reason, time got away from me and I'm realizing, well, wait a second, I should put something out on Thanksgiving because it is, in fact, when this comes out, Thanksgiving is the following day. And so I thought, well, what better topic to discuss than Thanksgiving in and of itself, and why we're some of the most grateful people out there. And I can explain to you why, and myself included. So I just jotted down some notes for myself, and you're going to have to bear with me because, again, this is off the cuff. No editing, no nothing. I don't care. I want to get this out. So why or how? Let's start with the how. How can people in recovery start to pick up and recognize that gratitude is something very important, something that we need to have? Well, how we get there, generally speaking, is acts of service and being of service to other people. Because when we are able to not, focus on ourselves so much, we are able to pour into other people's lives. We feel good about ourselves. And the 12th step of the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous is exactly that. And don't quote me verbatim, but essentially the 12th step is going out and finding another alcoholic and helping them get sober. And when you're able to do that, you become very grateful. There's something to be said about going and seeking somebody out that is hurting, that is struggling, and you are able to pour into them. You are able to walk them on this path that was shown to you. And I think that's one of the parts of the how we can be grateful in this time of season, or this time of year, in this season, in the holiday season. How can we be thankful? And just being able to reflect on where we have been and what we have gone through. People in recovery, we've been through chaos. We've been through all of it. We've destroyed relationships. We've had health consequences. We've lost jobs. We have destructed our lives to the fullest extent imaginable. But yet, if we're able to get to the other side of that, we're grateful that all that stuff happened because it made us who we are today. And being able to get to that point is extremely crucial because then you start to cherish your recovery. You start to understand that God had a plan for me. I wasn't sure what that plan was in the very moment, but looking back on it now, I know what the plan was the whole entire time. The plan was for me to do all the things that I did, ruin the relationships that I ruined, hurt the people that I hurt, lose the jobs that I lost, and end up going to treatment, end up going and taking a one-way flight to Florida. And what that did was that set me off on a path to be able to help thousands of people through my own recovery, my own story, my own journey, being able to put out podcasts and not knowing what podcasts really even was or what it consisted of, but knowing that I had a message that I wanted to get out there. And the only way that I thought it was going to be effective was through a podcast. So I learned, I figured out how to do it, and it's helped thousands of people. So I wake up every single day for the most part. Don't get me wrong. I'm still human. I have bad days and I get angry and I get upset. But generally speaking, I'm very grateful for everything that I've gone through. And because it's molded me into the person that I am today. It's made me the husband that I am. It's made me the father that I am. It's made me the son. I've gotten to And I've talked about this openly in the past. My dad had a stroke almost 4 years ago, and I have now been his primary caretaker. But if it wasn't for recovery, I wouldn't be able to do that. And so there's a level of gratitude and there's a level of thankfulness that comes with that. The other thing that about this whole entire journey is sobriety in and of itself. And this is where, and if you're a quote unquote normal person, I don't mean this at any slight towards you at all, but you, chances are go, go, go. I got to go to work. I got to get the kids to soccer practice. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to meet these deadlines. I got to cook. I got to clean. I got to do all this stuff. And it's just go, 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 go. 24 hours in a day, it's not enough. For people in recovery, we get to slow down. We get to look at these things as really opportunities. I have the opportunity to do all of these things. I have the opportunity to show up to my kids' events. I have the opportunity to caretake for my dad. I have the opportunity to do all of this stuff. Now, I'm not saying if you're a normal person that you don't view this as an opportunity. Maybe you do. And that's great if you do. But a lot of people don't. It's just we're kind of burning the candle at both ends and just trying to make ends meet. That's why I'm a firm believer that the 12-step program in and of itself should be really taught in college, because it really teaches us that we need to slow down. We need to stay in the moment. There's a saying that 1 foot in yesterday and 1 foot in tomorrow while you're pissing all over today. And that's true. Don't get me wrong. I focus on tomorrow. I focus on the next year, the next 5 years. But I need to stay present. And being in recovery allows us to stay present. In fact, it kind of forces us to stay present. Because I know, left to my own devices and not staying present and focusing on all the stuff that hasn't happened yet or that has happened a long time ago, it takes my eye off of what's most important, which is today. How am I going to show up for my friends and my family? How am I going to be productive? How am I going to offer a hand to somebody in need? How am I going to share a message to somebody that has yet to hear it? People in recovery have that opportunity on a daily basis, and we stay kind of focused on it. And that's one of the cool things about this is when we're in recovery and we're put in this position to be of servant to other people, that now becomes a focus. Our focus is to serve others, serve God and to serve others through sobriety, through messaging, through communication, through kind words, through acts of service, all these things that we learn in the recovery process. And when we do that, it forces us to slow down. I might want to do X, Y, and Z, but first I have to do this. First I have to do that. It forces us to slow down. We don't take for granted the things that come our way. When we're drinking and drugging, we tend to take things for granted. We tend to think that we are owed things. And when you are in a position and you think that let me use I statements. When I am in a position that I feel like I am owed things, all gratitude goes out the window because I expect it. Look at what I did. Don't you see what I accomplished? There's this almost, and I have an episode coming out on this in the near future, there's narcissistic traits within that. When the reality of it is that I don't deserve any of this. This has all been gifted to me. This has all been granted to me by hard work, by dedication, by discernment, by showing up, by being able to show up for other people, by having a servant's heart, those things. And so I can't take it for granted because as quickly as I've earned a lot of this stuff, is as quickly as it can be taken away. I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I cannot predict the future. I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. So I cannot take any of this stuff for granted. Now I can continue to show up in hopes that tomorrow is going to be the same as today. And the next day is going to be the same as tomorrow. And I can continue to keep putting the right foot forward and showing up for people and showing up for my family and my friends and to the best of my ability, and showing up for you guys via YouTube, podcast, whatever platform you're watching on. This is what drives me. This is what keeps me going, but I can't take it for granted, because when I start taking it for granted, then I become expectant. Like I expect more, and I want more, and I want more power. I want more authority. I want more say. I want more acknowledgement for my doings. It's not a safe place to be. Gratitude in and of itself is one of the things that keeps us sober for the long haul. There's a saying inside the rooms that we have to have an attitude of gratitude. And one of the first things to go is gratitude. When your gratitude starts to leave, and we start, and kind of the alternative to that is when the gratitude starts to leave, we start to become greedy. We start to, again, like I was just talking about, expect all this stuff to come our way. That's a very slippery slope. That's what I would call the prelapse. When we start to have this expectation of people, this expectation of our employer, this expectation of the podcast, of all of this stuff. If I ever slip into that mindset, it's not a healthy place to be, because if I'm in that mindset, I just expect. I expect this stuff to happen. Well, what happens when it doesn't? Because there's a high likelihood that it won't. There's a high likelihood that the numbers that I want to reach with the podcast won't happen. What happens when that comes true? I'll be let down. So rather than having this attitude of expectation, having an attitude of gratitude. Be happy with what I have now. Be grateful to be in a position to be able to sit in here in this studio and have all the technology and the wherewithal and the understanding and the skills to be able to put this stuff out to you on a weekly basis. To be able to have the conversations with family members and loved ones that they may have never had before with somebody. To be able to speak life into people's situations and into their current circumstances and let them know that everything is going to be okay, regardless of the outcome. These are opportunities that I have been appointed by God, by the people that I surround myself with, by you. You expect me to show up every single week, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to expect anything more of that. I can't have an attitude that I need more. It's not a healthy place to be. And it's a very slippery slope. So having an attitude of gratitude in this season and all year is extremely important. Slow down. Understand that we're here for whatever your primary purpose is. My primary purpose is to be a good father, be a good husband, be a good person, and to show up for you and to help people get sober. If I can meet those expectations on a daily basis, then I am doing everything, and the growth will come by way of that. I know that. Like, God has not given me this platform, has not given me this opportunity, has not given me this assignment because he doesn't think that I can fulfill. If he didn't think that I could fulfill on this assignment, I would not be appointed to do so. So just the same as having this attitude of gratitude being the cornerstone and understanding that this is what I need to do and this is what I need to continue to do, by staying there, I know the growth will come. I know other opportunities will come. Now, if they don't, that's okay, because I'm helping you. And that's all I need to do, is just show up for one person every single day. So seeing how all this plays out with people in recovery. Now, my kind of mission, my almost ministry in a way, is this podcast, is this YouTube channel. But yours may be completely different. Maybe you're in the construction business. Maybe you're a nurse. Maybe you're a teacher, a doctor. Fill in the blank. There's opportunity inside there just as much as there's opportunity here with what I'm doing. There's somebody that you interact with on a daily basis that you probably have not gone up to and said kind things to, unintentional or not. You haven't done it intentionally, or you haven't done it without expectation. Just walking up to somebody and saying, "Have a good day. How's your family doing? Is there anything I can do for you? How can I show up for you today?" And this doesn't go for just people in recovery. If you're a normal person, quote unquote normie, meaning you're not afflicted with the disease of addiction, this will go far for you. See, going back to a couple talking points ago, when we're just go, we miss the opportunities to show up for people in a mental, emotional, or spiritual or physical way. We miss those opportunities because we're in the moment of self-serving. We're in the moment of selfishness, and I have to accomplish all of these things, and I have to make sure that all of this stuff gets done, because if this stuff doesn't get done, then who's going to do it, and so on and so forth. And we miss these little opportunities to show up for other people. So in the spirit of the holidays, this is an opportunity. This is a time of year where we show up for people. I had podcasts lined up to go out, and I'm thinking to myself, why? This is a very strong message. This is something that I need to talk about because it's true to my own heart. And I could have just released the episode and not even talked about this, and then release the other episode and just go on with my own merry way, and, everything will be fine, and everything would be fine. But then I would look back and think, well, I did not capitalize on the opportunity to talk about gratitude and thankfulness to those that are in recovery, or maybe even you, that you're not in recovery and you have a loved one that struggles with addiction. If that is you, if you do have a loved one that struggles with addiction, just go up to him and say, you know what? You're my son, you're my daughter. I hate the fact that you have this addiction, but I love you. I'm thankful for you. I'm grateful for you. My love will never change. I'll always be here for you. That's it. And then go out and do it to some random person. Go have a conversation with somebody. Go talk to them. Go out and do something that you haven't done before. And it can be really uncomfortable at first, but it'll make you be very thankful. It'll make you be very grateful. So, all to say, I know this episode is very short. I know this is very kind of off the cuff, and that's totally fine. And I don't care. This season, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, from now until through January, It's filled with shopping. It's filled with eating. It's filled with drinking. It's filled with this and that. But slow down and understand. And the thing is, and this is just coming into my mind now, these years I have come to realize every year goes faster and faster and faster. So take this next couple of months, slow down, have an attitude of gratitude. Don't miss the opportunities that you have to show up for somebody. Don't miss the opportunities to show up for your employer or your loved one or anybody else that is in your life that you maybe have not shown up for over the past year. This is the time. This is the season that we're in. This is what this is all about. But if you can do it consecutively, then it will carry into the next year. And that is how you will build on your gratitude, and you will start to understand how this stuff all works. Because that's all this whole sobriety thing is about, is being of service to other people and showing up when nobody else has showed up for them before. So I'm going to go into this season practicing that more. I'm not perfect by any means. I know it's something that I need to work on, and I'm totally willing to say that. And that's it. So tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy time with your friends. Enjoy time with your family. Don't drink too much. If you do, call me, email me, and then let's get into Christmas and all that stuff. So I appreciate you guys. I love you all. Thank you for continuing to tune into the podcast and interacting with us. And that's it. I'll see you later.